And we are live on TikTok, live on YouTube, going to do a followers only live stream right now where we're doing a live 10-person best ball draft. And you can join. There's 5 spots left right now in this best ball draft. Happy Monday, everyone. We have less than 2 months until football season begins. We're live on YouTube and we are live on TikTok. How's it going, everybody? It is a wonderful Monday morning with under 2 months until the NFL season. We are just about a month away from preseason football kicking off, and we're doing a live best ball draft on this live stream. $5 to enter, and anyone can join. There's only 5 spots left. There's going to be 10 people in this draft. Go to the link tree to join, or come over to the YouTube live where you'll actually be able to see the draft board live as it happens. You can join the draft in there as well. It's going to be first come, first serve. So you got to go quick. There's only 5 spots left to join. And again, the link is in from the link tree, and it's on the YouTube live. What's going on, everybody? Jack Scott's tuning in from work. Hey, Sam and Walter, what's going on, guys? We are live yet again, under 2 months until the NFL season. This is when the real preparation for your fantasy football draft needs to be beginning. When is the draft starting? It's starting as soon as it fills, and there's only 5 spots left. We already got 5 people in. Yarshma's tuning in from his bed. The draft is starting. The other big news I have for you guys is we have launched a WalterPicks Discord. You can find that in the link tree as well. And in there, you'll actually find out about stuff like this ahead of time. You'll be able to join these drafts ahead of time, ahead of the live streams. What round should I take Michael Thomas? I've been aiming around round 7/8. Round 7/8. I don't want him to be one of my starting receivers, but he's one of the most high upside guys you get on your bench right now. Again, to join this draft, there's only 5 spots left in this $5 best ball draft over on Underdog. Go to the link in the link tree. It's the top link there, or click the link on the YouTube live. You'll be able to see the draft board live on YouTube. If you want to join, there's only 5 spots left. There's only 5 spots left. I think I'll download later this month to get into some of these. Need some more money from work. Yeah, that's fair, Jack. When you're doing the sleeper mock drafts, those will be much, much closer to the fantasy season, but you'll also want to be in our Discord to find out about those. Again, you can join our Discord in the link tree on TikTok. We have only 4 spots left in this draft. You can join. It's only $5 draft. I'll be in it. A few other members of our TikTok creator team will be in it. Our Chargers.WalterPicks creator is for sure in here. We only have 4 spots left. It's a $5 draft, and you'll be able to see the draft board live on YouTube. Go over to WalterPicks on YouTube, but you can join with the link in Linktree. What's going on, Panthers.WalterPicks? How we doing, man? Who should I take in the first round? Depends. Who is in what pick you have? Who do you pick a 10-team league? You're about to see you live in this draft. We're about to do a 10-person draft. There's only 4 spots left. $5 entry fee if you want to join. But yeah, pick 5 I think is pretty tough. Like Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey will likely be off the board. I think Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson will likely be off the board as well. If any of those guys are still on the board at 5, you should probably take them. But if any of those guys, if all 4 of those guys are gone, I think it's between Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Jamar Chase. I think it's between those 3 guys. We are live on YouTube and TikTok. There's only 4 spots left in this draft. You can join this draft right now by going to the top link in the link tree or coming over to the YouTube live. The link is right in the description over on YouTube. There's only 4 spots left. We also just launched the WalterPicks Discord, which is also found in the link tree. And you could have found out about this draft ahead of time if you were in the Discord. We're going to be doing tons of drafts and mock drafts together with everyone on Discord. So definitely join that as well. Sam, I might become a weatherman like you because of this class. It's currently teaching me about clouds. Yeah, I highly recommend. I do love my part-timing as weatherman Sam throughout the football season. We got to stay up to date on the weather. And really that just means, is it windy or is it not windy on NFL Football Sunday? We are live on YouTube and TikTok right now, guys, and we have 4 spots left to fill in this draft. This is a followers draft, so you can join this draft. The link to join is the first link in the link tree and the first link in the YouTube description. You'll be able to watch the draft board live over on YouTube if you're not going to join. but there's only 4 spots left. It's filling up pretty quick. We just went live a few minutes ago. Already have 6 people in. I'm in a 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 3 flex league. Wow. Just stacking the wide receiver in the 3 flex spots. Yeah, I would also consider stacking the running backs in the 3 flex spots as well, because they do tend to be a little bit more consistent than receivers if you can get some early. Recommend roster configuration for a 10-man league flex bench. Yeah, so roster construction matters much more in best ball than in season-long leagues, but I would definitely be grabbing at least 4 or 5 running backs, regardless of the format, because there's going to be injuries at the running back position almost always. There's 4 spots left. If you guys want to join this live draft over on Underdog, it's only a $5 entry fee. If you do use the link for the first time, by the way, if you've never been on Underdog before, you'll get a 100% deposit match as well. Yes, this is a real draft, though. I don't do mock drafts this time of year. I do real drafts. So this is a real $5 draft. If a special ed person is late or something, is it wrong to call them tardy? I mean, yeah, I guess they're tardy, right? Sam, I might be... I think I'll download Underdog later this month. Yeah, you definitely should. And guys, again, there's 4. Do you have to pay? There is a $5 entry fee. We got 4 spots left. We're doing this draft live on YouTube. You'll be able to see the draft board live on YouTube, but you can join. You can join. Who would you take with the 4th? Yeah, I think the top 4 for me pretty clearly are Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson. I think you can sort of argue the order of those guys all day long. I think JT deserves to be number 1 and CMC deserves to be number 2, personally. But I think all 4 of those guys should be the top 4 picks in every draft. And I'm not going to be shocked when Justin Jefferson outscores Cooper Kupp this season. If you want to be one of the last 4 people in this live Underdog draft, you can go to the top link. Sam, should I drop the Discord link in the YouTube chat? Yeah, you definitely should. Definitely drop the Discord link in the YouTube chat. We just launched our Discord, and it is very exciting heading up to this season. You're going to be able to get immediate access to our entire creator team, but you're also going to find out ahead of time about what's going on in the WalterPicks world when we're doing mock drafts, when we're doing Underdog drafts like this before the live stream. So definitely should hop into the Discord if you haven't yet. Where's Derrick Henry going? He's going like middle of the first round, around middle of the first round. Yeah, I also agree that Hollywood Brown could go nuclear this season, especially in the first 6 weeks with DeAndre Hopkins suspended. Again, guys, if you want to join this draft, it is about to start. Once 4 more people join this live draft, it will be starting. So if you want to join, now's your chance. It's a $5 entry fee. It'll be everyone that's in this draft will be either watching live or part of the TikTok creator team. We already have 6 people in, only looking for 4 more people. Top link in the link tree and first link in the YouTube description. Definitely hop in. Where's the Discord link? The Discord link is in our link tree, which you can find on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, but it's also, I believe, in the YouTube description. If you're watching live on YouTube, you should be able to find the Discord link there as well. What about Juju this season? Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster, we got 3 spots left, 2 spots left. There's only 2 spots left. You can join. There's only 2 spots left. This draft will start immediately once it fills. So there's only 2 spots left. It has your name on it, guys. There's only $5 entry fee. Again, link is in the link tree and the first link in the YouTube description. But yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster has an extremely wide range of outcomes this season. The fantasy dude, man, you hopping in this draft. It's a $5 draft. We got only 3 spots left. The link is in the top link in the link tree. Definitely hop in if you're around. It's going to start immediately. There's only 2 spots left now. So it's going to start immediately once we fill it up. But yeah, I think Juju has an extremely wide range of outcomes. He could be a top 12 wide receiver in fantasy football. That is absolutely possible, especially in PPR leagues. I expect him to be number 2 in targets for the Chiefs this season. I think that alone warrants his current cost, which he's currently going like in the 4th, 5th, 6th round of drafts. I think that could probably start to creep up as the season-long drafts start to heat up over the next month or 2. We are only 2 spots away from starting this draft. Again, this draft board will be broadcasted live on YouTube. So head over to the YouTube live if you want to see this draft live. But there's only 2 spots left. Anyone can join. The link is in the top link in the link tree. Also the first link in the YouTube description. We got 1 person in the TikTok live. Love to see it. It's only $5 entry fee. Low cost, but we're not doing mock drafts. We're doing real drafts. This is how you see real value in drafts right now. Because mock drafts at this time of year, you're just so hard to tell anything from when there's no money on the line. Dalvin or Najee. Yeah, this has been one I've gone back and forth with a lot over the last month. At one point, I was very much Najee over Dalvin. Najee led the league in touches last year and is in a very similar situation this season. There's been all this talk about him seeing less snaps, but he led the league in snaps and touches. He has no injury risk, not none, but much less than other running backs. But the Steelers offense is definitely a little concerning heading into this season. And the Vikings offense is not very concerning heading into the season. The Vikings offense could be a top 10 offense in the NFL, and they could be top 12 in passing attempts this season too under the new coaching staff. Again, we have 2 spots left in this live draft we're about to start over on Underdog Fantasy. To join, the top link in the link tree is how you join. How many spots left? There's 2 spots, so you got to go quick. 2 spots, Lucas. You can definitely join. And if you use that link to join and you've never used Underdog before, you'll actually get 100% deposit match too. So you will actually, if you deposit $5, it'll give you $10. So you can join this draft and you can join another draft later on as well. They got tons of drafts going all the time on Underdog. Thoughts on Alvin Kamara? Yeah, I'm nervous for him because of the suspension. Outside of the suspension, he's one of the most efficient running backs, one of the best receiving backs we've seen in the history of the NFL, and I don't expect that to change that much. But I do think he's going to get a 4 to 6 game suspension, maybe even 8. Guys, there's only 1 spot left. There's only 1 spot left in this draft. Who's going to fill on the last spot? We're going to broadcast this draft live on YouTube. We already got 9 people in. There's only 1 spot. Top link in the link tree or first link in the YouTube description is how you join. Top link in the link tree, which is right in the TikTok bio, or first link in the YouTube description. Again, you can watch this draft live, the draft board live over on YouTube if you want to watch if you're not able to join. We got Duke Holdlovsky is in. Do you have to pay for the league? Yeah, it's a $5 league, but obviously you win money if you win the league. This isn't like $5 for nothing. This is better than a mock draft because there's a little bit of real money on the line. We actually get some real insight into player values. But yeah, I think that Dalton Schultz is a key part of my tight end strategy this year. Tyler's asking on the YouTube live my thoughts on Dalton Schultz. Again, we only have 1 spot left in this live draft we're about to start. Top link in the link tree. Luke Cullen just made it in. Let's go first best ball draft. Love to see you in the chat, Luke. Hope all as well, man. I know you're crushing it over on Sleeper. But yeah, Dalton Schultz is a key part of my tight end strategy this year. My general tight end strategy, I'm gladly taking Kyle Pitts back into the 3rd round, beginning of the 4th round. I think in traditional season-long leagues, depending on who you're drafting with, he's going to fall to the 4th round. I don't think people quite realize how good his rookie season was in comparison of other rookie seasons. You could make a strong argument Kyle Pitts is the best tight end prospect that we've seen in our recent lifetime. He is the earliest drafted tight end in the last 100 years, and he just had one of the best receiving tight end seasons of all time. You put those 2 things together and his athleticism, his size-adjusted athleticism, and he could really explode in year 2. That's why he's the 3rd tight end going off the board right now on Underdog. And I think he'll probably be 4th or 5th, though, for traditional season-long leagues. Where can I join a league for this season? We're actually doing a draft right now. And to join it, it's a $5 draft, really low entry fee, but it is $5 to join it and be a part of this YouTube and TikTok live where we're going to be broadcasting this live on YouTube. You'll see the draft board. It's the top link in our link tree in our TikTok bio, or if you're watching live on YouTube, it's the first link in the YouTube description. Once 1 more person joins, this draft is going to start. It's going to start automatically once we fill it up. So we only need 1 more person. So you better hurry if you want to join. When would you take James Conner now that Edmonds is gone? Yeah, James Conner has been going pretty early. He's been going pretty early. He's going in the 3rd round. He's the 14th running back off the board on average right now. And I agree with it. He was a top 6 running back in fantasy in terms of per game last year, and that was with Chase Edmonds. I don't think Darrell Williams or Eno Benjamin or any combination of those 2 guys is going to be better than what Chase Edmonds was. That being said, James Conner is getting up there in age. He's flirting with, I think he's flirting with 29 now. Let me pull this up really quick. Yeah, he's 27. He's actually a little younger than I would have expected. But he's actually been one of the most durable running backs in the NFL for quite a while now. So I won't be shocked if James Conner has another top 10 running back season, a part of one of the best offenses in the league. Again, to join the draft, all you need to do is go to the top link in the link tree on the TikTok bio or first link in the YouTube description. It's only $5 to enter. We actually have 2 spots available now. 2 spots available. So someone left. So 2 spots available for this draft. It's going to start immediately once you join. But you got to move quick because there's only 2 spots left. You can see, and you'll be able to see the draft board live over on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube as well. The other update I have for everyone is we just launched a WalterPicks Discord, which is completely free to join, and you'll be able to find out about when I'm going live, when we're doing drafts like this ahead of time, as well as some great fantasy discussion happening in the Discord, completely free to join. That's also found in the link tree. We've been very active in there. We just launched that literally on Friday. So come be one of the first OG members of our Discord. That's also one of the top links in our link tree right now. Thoughts on Amon-Ra St. Brown? Yeah, I don't think you do what Amon-Ra St. Brown did without being an absolute baller. And I expect him to ball out this season, especially in the first month of the season with Jameson Williams out with an injury or sort of slowly being integrated into the offense because of his injury. Once Jameson Williams returns, though, I expect Jameson Williams to be the alpha in that offense. I still think Amon-Ra St. Brown, though, is going to eat in PPR leagues. Again, if you want to draft live with me and other members of the WalterPicks team and other members of the audience in this live stream, go to the top link in the link tree and go to the first link in the YouTube description, either of those places, and join this $5 best ball draft over an underdog that we're about to get started. It's not letting me download the app. Oh, that's disappointing, Bran. It might be because of where you live. But you can also do it on your computer as well. If you come to the YouTube live on the computer, that'll definitely work. Again, there's only 2 spots left. Just came from TikTok. 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 3 flex. What if first 4 picks overall are all wide receiver? Yeah, I don't hate that. But I would probably lean running back still relatively early. Like, even though you only have to start 1 running back, you're going to want one in the first 5 rounds, I would say. So yeah, fire off 4 wide receivers, then I would definitely go wide receiver or running back after that. It says cannot detect location. Yeah, I would definitely try it on your computer then if it's not letting you on your phone. Because it does have to make sure you're in a proper state. I don't play fantasy baseball. I cannot get into baseball. I've tried. I can't do it. It's just way too slow. It's too slow for me. Do you think A-Rob will have a strong bounce back season? Yeah, I think he's another one of these guys similar to Juju, who's recently switched teams, is in a better situation than really he has been his entire career. This is the best situation Allen Robinson has been in his entire career. It didn't put me into your draft. That's pain for me. Lucas, there's only 2 spots left. This is a private draft. You have to use the link in the first link in the YouTube description or the first link in the link tree to join this private draft. You might have joined a public draft. This is a private draft. Again, link is in the first link in the link tree. You can join right now. There's only 2 spots left. Only 2 spots left. But yeah, I would say Allen Robinson is going to have either the best year of his career, or he's going to be a massive disappointment. I think he's going to be in one of those ends of the spectrum. But if you just look at the numbers Robert Woods was putting up, we only got 1 spot left now in the draft, guys. If you want to be the last person in this draft live with me and live with everyone listening, but there's 9 of us in right now. It's going to be a 10-person draft over an underdog. First link in the link tree or first link in the YouTube description. It's going to start automatically once you join. You will be the one that kicks this draft off by joining. Kobe Lander, only 1 spot left. Only 1 spot left. It's only $5 to enter. Going to be a fun draft once you get in. Yeah, Lucas, I had a feeling that's what you did. But there's only 1 spot left, guys. Top link in the link tree, first link in the YouTube description, and then we'll kick this draft off. But if you look at Robert Woods' numbers from last season, and we consider Allen Robinson to be, at least around as good as Robert Woods, he's going to be a wide receiver too, at least in fantasy. Robert Woods had several wide receiver 1 weeks before he went down with an injury last year, and that's the role Allen Robinson is more or less stepping into. So yeah, I do like Allen Robinson for that reason, but he also was absolutely abysmal last year. I know the Bears were really crumbling for most of the season. Justin Fields was horribly inefficient. That didn't help him, but even still, he was outproduced by Darnell Mooney, and he really didn't do much with limited competition. So I understand both sides of the concern and the upside for Allen Robinson. I do still think he's really talented, though. Wish I could. Yeah, Jake, that's disappointing. We have 1 spot left in this draft, and to join, there's only 1 spot left. And once you join, the draft will start automatically. So you can be the person that kicks us off in this draft to join. It's the first link in the link tree, or it's the first link in the YouTube description, where on YouTube we'll be broadcasting this draft board live on YouTube. This is a $5 best ball draft over on Underdog. You can join right now. 1 more. There's just 1 more, and then we will be getting started. Thoughts on where Etienne should go, be taken, and projections for him? Yeah, I can tell you our exact projections for him. Let me pull that up right now. And you can actually see our rankings for best ball specifically right now. And there we go. We got 10 people in. Draft is about to start. You can watch the draft board live over on YouTube. But Travis Etienne, I think, is getting drafted really where he should be. And I got the 9th pick. That's absolutely brutal. 9th pick for me in this draft. You'll be able to see the draft board again live on YouTube. The draft starting in literally 60 seconds. So come over to the YouTube live, look up WalterPicks, or go to the YouTube link in the TikTok bio. But yeah, we have Travis Etienne ranked, I think, as a top 5 receiving back. I think let me pull up the actual numbers here. But we have him in elite territory in terms of his receiving ability. Like, you really do need to feel really good about Travis Etienne. We have him only behind Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones. He's the 6th best receiving back according to our projections. We have him projected for a little under 30 receiving yards per game, which I actually think is a little bit cautious. I could see him averaging closer to 50 receiving yards per game. And if he does that, he's going to be a top 12 running back, especially in PPR leagues. The thing you got to understand about Travis Etienne, too, is the casual people who don't watch college football, didn't do much analysis of the rookies last season, still don't even know who Travis Etienne is. And I think that's going to be a big advantage in a lot of season-long leagues. Travis Etienne is one of the best receiving prospects we've seen come out of college. He was a 99th percentile receiver in college. And guess who he played with in college? It was Trevor Lawrence, the exact guy that's going to be leaning on him this season. So I really do like Travis Etienne a lot in PPR leagues. By all reports, he's fully healthy now too. And again, this draft just kicked off. If you're watching live on TikTok, we're doing a live draft on YouTube. Come over to the YouTube live to see the draft board live. JT was just picked with the 1st overall pick. We got people in the audience, a part of this live draft, as well as people in a part of the TikTok team, a part of this live draft. Christian McCaffrey goes 2nd overall. I think this should be the first 2 picks in most drafts. I would strongly consider CMC 1st overall if this was a PPR league. This is a half PPR league, though. So I do think JT is better half PPR or non-PPR than CMC. All right, first pick, yuck. Yeah, I got 4th pick, not awful. We got Philly in the chat too. You think A.J. Dillon's going to get more goal line touches than Aaron Jones? I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think at worst case for A.J. Dillon, it's like an even split in terms of the goal line carries between him and Aaron Jones. Best case scenario for A.J. Dillon, though, is that it's like a 75-25 split, in which case he's going to absolutely smash this season. One of my bold predictions, I'm making at least one bold prediction for each NFL team, a series I'm doing over on TikTok. I think I've done about 5 now. The one I did for the Packers, A.J. Dillon scoring at least 10 touchdowns this season, which will be a career high. I actually don't think it's that bold, but he is one of these guys that has standalone value. So I'm fine taking him in the 6th or 7th round. He's not a traditional handcuff. He's going to be a running back 3 at worst for you without an injury to Aaron Jones. But if Aaron Jones gets injured, you're winning your league. You're going to win your league if you have A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones gets hurt. So that's the upside for for A.J. Dillon. I'm about to be on the clock here at 9th overall. I will take Dalvin Cook with this pick. Someone asked earlier in this live, Dalvin Cook over Najee Harris. I think it's super close, but Dalvin Cook does have a path, I think, to a more exciting offense and therefore a higher ceiling. I think he has much more risk injury-wise, but I also think he can out-target Najee Harris this season, which was not the case last season with the new coaching staff for the Vikings. I have the 9th overall pick. Najee, Devontae Adams go right after me. And I'm actually going to go with DeAndre Swift with my 2nd pick here. And speaking of guys that we have really high in our receiving projections, Dalvin Cook is number 4 and DeAndre Swift is number 3. And I absolutely love stacking my team with running backs that have multiple paths to points. You want running backs that catch the ball. You want quarterbacks that run the ball. It's a little counterintuitive if you don't follow fantasy closely. Right now, Travis Etienne's ADP, he's going in like the late 3rd, sometimes middle of the 3rd. I actually saw him drafted in the early 3rd on a draft I did yesterday, but usually he's going like late 3rd, beginning of the 4th round. I think in like normal season-long leagues, though, with your friends, I think he's going to go closer to the 4th, 5th round. And that price I'm absolutely willing to spend up for Travis Etienne. He's going right around the same time as Cam Akers. And I think Cam Akers has maybe a slightly higher ceiling in his offense than Etienne does in the Jaguars offense. But Etienne's going to out-receive Cam Akers this season. So in PPR leagues, there's a strong case for Travis Etienne over Cam Akers. That the new coaching staff will utilize Madison more. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. Honestly, if anything, that might actually end up being okay for Dalvin Cook. He might be a little less consistent in fantasy if Alexander Madison does carve out a bigger role, but they're saying that both Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison should be more involved in the passing game this year. So there's a chance Alexander Madison eats a little bit into the rushing workload for Dalvin Cook, But if Dalvin Cook can improve on his per game receiving numbers, he's going to be a top five upside guy every single week in fantasy, especially if the Vikings offense is as good as many are projecting, which could be a top 10 offense in the NFL, which is willing to pass more. More passing is going to lead to more points for the Vikings this year. Let me pull up Dalvin Cook numbers from last season. He did average the 9th most fantasy points per game last season, 15.9 fantasy points per game, but he was only seeing around 3 targets a game. If that's closer to 5 targets a game, Dalvin Cook's going to absolutely smash this year. But I understand the injury concern with Dalvin Cook. Best rookie wide receiver predictions. Yeah, I actually posted a video on YouTube about my top 10 rookies for season-long fantasy heading into this year right after the draft, and not much has actually changed for me since then. There's been a lot of hype and de-hyping of certain rookie players. Treylon Burks got an insane amount of hype right after the draft, and now his stock is absolutely tanking because he can't even breathe in practice. I'm not too worried about Treylon Burks. His ranking has stayed pretty consistent for us up to this point. We're actually updating our rankings literally every single day now at this time of year for our best ball rankings, which you can find in the WalterPicks app. But I don't have Treylon Burks as my number 1 receiver. I don't think you should. I think it should be Drake London, just given on the opportunity alone. I know the quarterback situation is a little murky in Atlanta. We're going to be rocking with Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder. But Drake London is by far the best receiver on the team after Kyle Pitts, and he has a pretty clear path to 1,000 receiving yards, even with a bad quarterback situation. He can hit 150 targets, 1,000 receiving yards. Definitely possible for Drake London. And Drake London is the type of receiver that doesn't necessarily need elite quarterback play. He's a go up and get it type of receiver. I would comp him to a guy like Kenny Golladay in his prime. I think he can be like that. So I like Drake London as the top receiver, but I'm also starting to really warm up to the idea of Chris Olave being a big part of the Saints offense, especially depending on the timeline for Michael Thomas. The other rookie that's going really early, if I scroll down here, if you're watching live on YouTube, Drake London's the first rookie wide receiver off the board. Then it's Treylon Burks, then Chris Olave. Then Garrett Wilson's like much farther down there. Garrett Wilson was my pre-draft wide receiver 1 before the draft. I still think he's arguably the most talented receiver in the class. But he does have a lot of competition for targets now with Breece Hall, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis all being involved, and the Jets offense still probably going to be bottom 10 in the league. Do you have a draft board / guide? No, I have an app. It's called the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store, completely free to download. The 7-day trial is also completely free. And there's a draft tool in there that literally updates live. We're going to be launching an update in the next 3 weeks that has league sync functionality. So it's going to update live with your draft. Much better than a draft guide or a draft like magazine, because it's going to know based on who you've already taken, based on who's already been taken in your draft, based on your custom league settings. It's going to give you custom insights with the best projections that you could possibly find. So that's actually in the WalterPicks app on the iOS and Android app stores. All right, I'm back on the clock. Running backs flying off the board. I'm going to go with T. Higgins. Happily go with T. Higgins here with my 3rd pick. I now have Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, T. Higgins. Pretty interesting start to this draft. Everyone except for Colts fan 18 with the 7th pick has taken at least one running back so far. And I'm actually going to go with Travis Etienne. I don't feel good about taking him over James Conner, though. I'm actually going to go Mike Williams instead. Grab my 2nd receiver. T. Higgins, Mike Williams, DeAndre Swift, Dalvin Cook. Got a piece of Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert's offense. Feel pretty good about that. That's awesome. I purchased the subscription for the Walter app last year, and it was fantastic. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. 1 QB. Who should I take at 104 and 105? Yeah, if it's a single quarterback league, definitely don't go with a quarterback if that's what you mean by 1 QB. If you are watching live on YouTube, by the way, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That helps us way more than you would possibly realize. It takes you like 2 seconds, so really do appreciate that. Travis Etienne, of course, goes 1 pick after my Mike Williams pick. You can see the draft board live on YouTube, by the way, if you're watching live on TikTok. I'm in a live draft right now with members of this live stream and also members of our WalterPicks TikTok creator team. You can see this draft live as it's happening. This is a $5 draft, too. This isn't just a mock draft. So we're seeing people's real analysis of player evaluation in this draft, not just a mock draft where people don't take it as seriously. Don't you worry about the history of running backs with Rams offense for Cook's value with Kevin O'Connell. He's not going to get monster carries like in the Zimmer offense. Yeah, but the targets are more valuable than the carries. There's actually been a lot of analysis on this. And one target, regardless of the format, it goes, obviously, they're more valuable in PPR formats, but even in non-PPR leagues, one target is like 2.5 times as valuable as one carry. So if he gets 3 more targets a game, that's like equivalent to like 7-8 carries per game in the Vikings offense. And it's because you average more yards per catch, but also in half PPR and PPR leagues, you get a point or half a point just for catching the ball. So yeah, I'm okay with Dalvin Cook seeing less carries as long as it leads to more targets. And by all reports out of the Vikings camp, that's what they're saying is going to happen. So I'm comfortable with that. And that's exactly why we have Dalvin Cook projected for the 5th most receiving yards per game among running backs, which only right now is around 30. You in the Scott Fish Bowl this year. I didn't get in, man. I was a little disappointed. I've been trying to get in actually the Scott Fish Bowl for like 3-4 years now. It's very tough to get in. I don't like have a personal relationship with Scott Fish. So that's disappointing. But we did have one member of our WalterPicks team, our Colts creator, actually, Anto, did get into the Scott Fish Bowl at the last minute. So I am excited for him to be a part of it. I am going to be in the Big Dog Bash, though. I don't know if you guys saw that with PDGE, but I am going to be in the Big Dog Bash. So I'm looking forward to that. Dalvin or Najee. I drafted Dalvin Cook one pick ahead of Najee Harris in this draft I'm doing right now live on YouTube. And you can see the draft board live on YouTube. I took him one pick ahead. My draft is on the 17th. Can't wait. Yeah, good luck, man. Definitely wishing you the best. That'd be a big dub if you could take home the Scott Fish Bowl. Who do you think is going to be the number one Chiefs receiver? Yeah, I have Juju slotted in as the number one Chiefs receiver right now. I think if it's not Juju, though, it's going to be Sky Moore. I'm not that interested in Marquez Valdes-Scantling because we sort of know what Marquez Valdes-Scantling is already. Like, we have a huge sample size of Marquez Valdes-Scantling with an elite quarterback, not necessarily with the most competition for it. And he's just going to be like a spike week guy, not consistent in fantasy. He's going to have some good games. He's also going to have some absolute duds, though. That's what I'm expecting from Marquez Valdes-Scantling because that's what we've seen from Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Juju Smith-Schuster and Sky Moore at least have a more exciting range of outcomes. I have Juju ranked ahead of Sky Moore, but Sky Moore could end up being an absolute monster in terms of rookie production. He's another rookie receiver that has an outside shot to be the number one rookie wide receiver just because of the offense that he's in. But I think Juju leads the team in targets after Travis Kelce. I think he's going to be number 2 in targets and yards after Kelce, and he could be number 2 in touchdowns too. So I think Juju has pretty clear path to being a wide receiver 1, but there is a lot of mouths to feed all of a sudden for Kansas City. Like the depth chart's not as clear. So he also has a pretty low floor. I'd say Scantling, we know what Scantling's role is. Like his floor is known. And so that's sort of priced into his cost right now. He might be one of the safer picks because you just know what his role is. But in season-long leagues, Scantling's going to be so tough to trust on a weekly basis. What are your thoughts on Zeke this year at his ADP? Yeah, so if you're watching this draft live on YouTube, again, you can see that in the TikTok bio. There's a YouTube link right there, or look up WalterPicks on YouTube. I'm in a live $5 draft right now. But Zeke got drafted in this draft in the 4th round, actually right before I took Mike Williams. He was the first pick of the 4th round. I like him at his average draft position cost right now. I think that every concern with Zeke is being more than priced in to his cost. He's in the same tier to me as like the rationale for drafting Christian McCaffrey, the rationale for drafting Dalvin Cook, the rationale for drafting Saquon Barkley, the rationale for drafting Zeke Elliott. I think all these guys are in a similar tier to me, right? The injury concern is all priced in to the cost, but it's most priced in for Zeke. And it was actually, Zeke is the guy that played the whole season last year. He played through an injury last year, finished top 10 in fantasy points. He was pretty abysmal efficiency-wise, and like on a per-game basis, he actually wasn't very good. He was outside the top 12 running backs, I believe, on a per-game basis and just fantasy points per game. But he's still attached to what I think is a top 5 offense in the NFL. He's, by all reports, fully healthy and recovered from the PCL injury that he played through last season. So yeah, I'm happy to take him in the 4th round. He could easily become a top 5 running back in fantasy. He was 15th in fantasy points per game last season, and right now he's getting drafted right around that spot, and he played through an injury too. So if he can stay healthy, I think there's a path for Zeke to really surprise a lot of people this season. And on top of that, he's one of the highest paid running backs in the league. I don't think his volume is going anywhere. I really don't. I'm about to be back on the clock here, and Breece Hall gets snagged. I was definitely going to take Breece Hall with this pick. I want as much Breece Hall as possible, if we're being honest. But instead, I'll take Courtland Sutton as my 3rd receiver. And I absolutely love the quarterbacks that my receivers are tethered to right now. And I actually think this, generally speaking, if you're watching this draft board live, I've now taken 5 picks, about to make my 6th. I had the 9th pick in a 10-person league. I think this is going to be how I start a lot of drafts in season-long leagues this year too, with how my roster construction is coming together here. I'm going to go. I'm not taking Gabriel Davis. I refuse to take Gabriel Davis. I'm actually going to go with Darnell Mooney ahead of Gabriel Davis, ahead of Allen Robinson, which in terms of average draft position is a little bit of a reach. But I want Darnell Mooney on literally every single team that I have this year. If he's slowly becoming my most rostered player in fantasy. You look at the peripheral numbers for Darnell Mooney, and you have to feel absolutely amazing about them. And we got to get these people out of the YouTube live comments. I'm sorry I didn't see this. But yeah, I think you can worry a little bit about the carries. Don't do it. You did it. Are you Colby? What team are you in this draft? Are you one pick before me? Because that would be pretty annoying. You definitely are. You took Etienne and Brees Hall. This looks like a Colby team to me. Do you answer questions on TikTok? Yeah, of course. I answer questions on YouTube and TikTok because why would I go live on both platforms if I'm not going to answer questions? That definitely bugs me when I see a YouTube or TikTok live and just never addressing the comments. Of course I will. Herb Dean. Oh, you had the first pick. Yeah, that team's looking pretty solid. You took Brandon Cooks 5th round. That's how I know it was your team. I'm in a league exactly like this 10 team, half PPR. I'm leaning towards taking Pitts in the 3rd. What are your thoughts on tight end in this type of league? Yeah, I'm cool with Pitts in the 3rd. I am. It's a little early in a 10-person league. Like it's hopefully more close to the back end of the 3rd round. But I have Kyle Pitts as my number 2 tight end this year. I have him ahead of Mark Andrews, which is pretty bold because Mark Andrews was the number 1 tight end in fantasy last year and arguably has less competition for targets this year. But I want to be 1 year ahead, not 1 year too late on Kyle Pitts. I would rather be 1 year early than 1 year late on Kyle Pitts because it's only a matter of time for Kyle Pitts to be a top 2 fantasy tight end. It's only a matter of time until he's getting drafted close to where Travis Kelce is getting drafted right now. Luke Cole, and that's me. Haha, nice. I love the squad we got in this 10-person live draft right now. And yeah, you snagged Brees Hall. I want Brees Hall. I'm equally concerned with Brees Hall. Like I have some big concerns with him. Obviously, the Jets' offense is very concerning. Their offensive line actually did get a tiny bit better this year, but that's not saying that much. They were bottom 10 offensive line last year. I think they could still be bottom half of the league this season. But Brees Hall, if you just look at the profile for Brees Hall, like you almost don't need to look much further. You don't really need to care that much about the situation. And I think it's actually very comparable to Saquon Barkley's rookie year, except he's not going to be locked into as much volume as Saquon was as a rookie because Michael Carter is also good. But if you just think about it in terms of Saquon Barkley, who, by the way, was a 1st or 2nd round pick his rookie season, Brees Hall is going in the 5th round in his 10-person draft. Brees Hall is basically a clone of Saquon Barkley in terms of athleticism, in terms of shiftiness in the open field, in terms of the ability to be a really good receiver out of the backfield. He has all of those traits. He's a 99th percentile size-adjusted athlete, and he is insanely fast and shifty in the open field, similar to what you've seen from Saquon Barkley. He also has the record, the college football record for the most games in a row with a touchdown. The dude is an absolute machine. And a lot of those games, by the way, it wasn't like he was playing absolutely terrible opponents. He played at Iowa State. He played plenty of top 10 teams, top 25 teams in that stretch where he scored 24 straight touchdowns in college. So I like Brees Hall a lot. The offense is scary, but the talent is just so clearly there. And he also has the early draft capital that you want in a running back. He was the first drafted running back in this class. He was the clearly best running back in this draft class. And he is the prototypical league winning back. Like he checks all the boxes other than being in a top offense. This will be the first and last time I draft Gabe Davis this year. Yeah, I can't get myself to do it. I can't get myself to do it. If there's one player that's going to kill me in fantasy this year, it's probably going to be Gabe Davis because there is a path. There's definitely a path. And this is why he's getting drafted so early for Gabe Davis to be a top 12 wide receiver in fantasy. He's the number 2 receiver tethered to what should be the top offense in the league, a team that's going to throw a ton, a team that's going to also throw the ball deep a ton in this Bills offense. But all that being said, Gabe Davis, like he hasn't proven anything. He has had one big game. He has had one big game, and it was under very bright lights. But if he didn't have that game, his average draft position would probably be like significantly later than it is now. And by the way, another receiver that's already on the team has also had one big game, and he's going in the last round of fantasy drafts, and that's Isaiah McKenzie. And I'm not saying Gabe Davis is worse than Isaiah McKenzie, but Isaiah McKenzie's also had a close to 40-point fantasy week against the Patriots just last season. It just didn't come in the playoffs under as bright of lights. He's going in the last round. And then on top of that, Jameson Crowder is there. I'm actually probably going to post this video today. But what my bold prediction for the Bills this season is going to be that Jameson Crowder scores more fantasy points than Gabriel Davis. And I think this is very, very, very possible. Jameson Elite Crowder could easily get more receptions than Gabe Davis working in the slot with Josh Allen this year. And Jamison Crowder has a better history of production than Gabriel Davis. Gabe Davis is young. He is talented, but he has not proved anything yet. And so he's going too early in my mind. He actually didn't go that early in this draft. He slid a little bit to the 7th round. This is a 10-person draft too. But I've seen him go in the 4th, 5th round, around guys like Brandon Cooks, Terry McLaurin, Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, like guys that just clearly have more a history to rely on in terms of production. So yeah, I do like fading Gabe Davis in drafts this season, but he certainly could come back to absolutely destroy me. I think he'll probably be on the do not draft list for me this year, though. What is your prediction on the Watson suspension? Yeah, let's talk about the Deshaun Watson situation. I've not been avoiding the Deshaun Watson conversation. I don't think it's a conversation to avoid because we gotta think about this critically. This has huge impacts on all the fantasy drafts going on right now. I have said for quite a while now, I think he's going to be suspended the entire season. But more and more recently, I'm starting to have a little bit more doubt on when we're actually going to get clarity on the situation, because it seems like this is trending towards the decision coming not this week, but either the week after that or the week after that. Like the last 2 weeks of July, I think is when the ruling from the NFL is going to come. And I think that ruling is going to be either a 1-year suspension or an indefinite suspension, which is at least a 1-year suspension. But then after that, Deshaun Watson is going to get to appeal that suspension. And that appeal is going to go to Roger Goodell, and that could take a whole nother month easily. And so there's a chance that we don't know or have clarity on the Deshaun Watson situation until literally like the last week of August or the first week of September. And that's going to be absolutely brutal for fantasy drafts. But right now I'm drafting under the mindset that Deshaun Watson will not play this year. I think that's the safe mindset to have. But obviously if he ends up playing, it's going to drastically change the landscape of the Browns players in fantasy, as it should. Deshaun Watson, talent-wise, is arguably a top 5 quarterback, top 6 quarterback in the NFL. It's a slightly stronger QB competition that he had when he was playing 2 years ago. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and a bunch of other good young QBs in the mix now. But Deshaun Watson is very good. It'll be interesting to see him play after not playing for so long. But he's definitely much better than Jacoby Brissett, like significantly, like 10 times better than Jacoby Brissett, I would say. So it's going to change things drastically. Right now, though, I don't think he's going to play. Gabe Davis has shown flashes even before the Chiefs game. He has. He definitely has, but he has not done it consistently. Obviously, he didn't have as big of a role as he's expected to have this season, but let's not act like he's proven much. He averaged 7.9 fantasy points per game last year. That ranked 60th in the NFL. He's playing behind Emmanuel Sanders, the corpse of Emmanuel Sanders. He really hasn't shown us very much. He's played in 2 seasons. He's had under 600 yards in both seasons. He's averaged under 9 fantasy points per game in both seasons. And he could take a pretty significant jump from there this year and still not return value on his cost. Again, he's going in like the 5th, 6th round in a lot of drafts. And if that's the case, he has to be a 15-point game guy. And that's like twice as good as he's been so far in his career. So I see the path. I do see the path. If you want to shoot for upside, go by all means, draft Gabe Davis. I like stacking him with Josh Allen. That's been the only time that I've drafted Gabe Davis is if I also have already drafted Josh Allen, which is pretty rare for me, because you're getting a lot of other good QBs late. Like if you're watching this draft live on YouTube right now, look at the difference between where Josh Allen was picked and the other top QBs, all who could realistically outscore Josh Allen this season. I'm not projecting that, but it's definitely possible that Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Justin Herbert, or Jalen Hurts, or Kyler Murray are the number 1 overall QB this year, and they went 4 rounds after Josh Allen in this draft. Clearly a better value than where Josh Allen was picked. So I'm mostly fading Josh Allen this year too, which again could really come back to absolutely be a bad decision. Yeah, I'm between taking Taylor and Eckler or Taylor and Henry. I would go Taylor. Would you like Renfrow with Devontae now being in Las Vegas? Yeah, I still like Hunter Renfrow. I still think he's going to be beast in PPR leagues. I don't think he has as much upside as he would have without Devontae Adams, obviously, but I still think he's going to be a big part of the offense that's likely going to throw a decent amount this season. So yeah, I'm still in on Hunter Renfrow. And his average draft position also isn't terrible. I did get T. Higgins, so I'll gladly stack Joe Burrow with T. Higgins on this team. I got Joe Burrow in the 9th round in this draft that I'm doing live over on YouTube right now. Again, if you are watching live on YouTube, guys, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. What is your ideal draft spot? I want my ideal draft spot this year is the latest I could possibly get Christian McCaffrey, which is going to differ league to league. Like on Yahoo drafts right now, his average draft position is like 5th overall. So if I can get Christian McCaffrey 5th overall, yeah, sign me up for that literally all day long. But that's also, it's going to be tough to predict how far Christian McCaffrey is going to draft in any given draft. He could go 1st overall. He could go 2nd overall. For that reason, I don't hate 2nd overall. Like I kind of want 2nd overall. If you look at this draft here by the team in 2nd overall too, Like you're able to get Christian McCaffrey, but then on the swing in the third round, a lot of times you can get Saquon Barkley, or in the second round, you can get Saquon Barkley. If I can stack Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley on the same team, I'm doing that in every draft I possibly can do it, because I'm not drafting scared. And yeah, they both have really high risk, but they also both have really high reward. And we've also seen both of them absolutely dominate in fantasy on bad teams. So the whole bad team thing, I'm not too worried about. They're the types of running backs that get enough passes that it's not that concerning. I went QB, by the way, with my last two picks. If you're not watching live on YouTube, the squad I got cooking right now, Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins are my three running backs on the team right now. Then I have T. Higgins, Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, Darnell Mooney, Elijah Moore, and I stacked Joe Burrow with T. Higgins, and I also snagged Trey Lance in the 10th round. If you look at the guys that fit the bill to be the league-winning quarterbacks this season, we've had the formula down for 2 years now. 2 years ago, I was screaming, draft Josh Allen. He was the guy that fit the bill to improve as a passer, but also has that maximum rushing upside to score 6+ rushing touchdowns and rush for 500+ yards in a season. Exactly what he did in that monster season that year. And he was going in the 8th, 9th round of drafts. The year after that the quarterback that clearly had room to grow as a passer, but also the upside as a rusher, was Jalen Hurts. And he was going in the 7th, 8th round of drafts, finished as the number 6 overall QB in fantasy. He was drafted like the 15th quarterback last year. This year, though, Jalen Hurts, I think, fits that bill again, right? A.J. Brown is there now. He does have more room to grow as a passer. So I would put Jalen Hurts on that list again as a guy that could be the guy that wins, that quarterback that wins fantasy leagues this year with his rushing and his improved passing. But if it's not him, it's probably going to be Trey Lance, who we already have seen in his small sample as a rookie, his elite ability as a rusher. There's still definitely a lot of questions in his ability as a thrower, but he certainly has room to grow in that area, and we already know he can do the rushing. If it's not Trey Lance, though, by the way, just look a little bit deeper into another second-year quarterback, Justin Fields, who everybody is completely asleep on right now, because the Bears are definitely one of the least exciting teams heading into the season in terms of what they've built around Justin Fields. They have Darnell Mooney there, and then after Darnell Mooney, it is Cole Kmet and David Montgomery. And then it's like Velus Jones and Byron Pringle. Like the drop-off from Darnell Mooney is just atrocious. Like they've done a horrible job surrounding Justin Fields with elite talent. But Justin Fields certainly has a lot of room to grow as a passer. I expect him to take at least a small jump forward this year. That's why I'm very in on Darnell Mooney. But he clearly has the rushing ability too. He has Russell Wilson type speed that we didn't see that much last season because they refused to design the Bears offense around Justin Fields' strengths as a runner. And I think that's going to change this year with the new coaching staff in Chicago. So yeah, I'd like Justin Fields as an even later play on the rushing quarterback with room to grow as a passer. Those are really the three quarterbacks I want in fantasy this year. Either Jalen Hurts, like round 5, 6, 7, Trey Lance, round 8, 9, 10, or Justin Fields. In season-long leagues, you're going to be able to get Justin Fields in like round 13, 14. Do you think Kelsey is worth it as ADP? Yeah, I'm down for Kelsey as ADP. I'm not concerned about the age model for Travis Kelsey. With Tyreek Hill gone, Travis Kelsey could easily lead the entire league in touchdowns. Like that is within his range of outcomes. You get in that at the tight end position, you could get a top 5 wide receiver season out of Travis Kelsey in the tight end spot. It's worth the pick in the back end of the first, early second round. I think it is. And if I haven't done it very much. Like I would prefer to go running back than running back tight end with Travis Kelsey. But like where he fell in this draft, he went 15th overall in this draft. Yeah, sign me up for that. Like at right around 15th overall, I'm happy to take Travis Kelsey in that range. We're about to be back on the clock here. I probably need some running backs. I also haven't taken a single tight end yet. I think I'm one of the last people to take a tight end. I might be the last person. Looks like whoever has the 4th overall pick hasn't taken a tight end either. And we do have Dawson Knox trickling down to us, though he might get snagged one pick ahead of me here. So we'll see. The tight end picture gets pretty bleak pretty fast after the first really 8, 9 tight ends. But I'm more than happy to wait on tight end too. Like I'm not going to reach 4 tight ends unless it's Kyle Pitts, unless it's Travis Kelsey, or Dalton Schultz, like in the 5th, 6th round. Wide receiver 1 next year. Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys. It's Justin Fields gets picked. Love that. I think that's a solid pick. In what round are we in now? 11. Yeah, it's a good pick with the rushing upside. You want quarterbacks that run. You do. WalterPicks app will be similar to Draft Dominator. It'll be similar, definitely similar. I think I'm familiar with the Draft Dominator, but it actually is better than the Draft Dominator. What the WalterPicks draft tool does is it takes your custom league settings, it takes Walter's AI-powered projections, and it also updates live with League Sync in your draft. So it's updating live in your draft. I'm actually going to snag Irv Smith with this pick and go 2 tight ends. The draft tool will update live with your draft if you're in a sleeper ESPN or Yahoo league. If you're in an ESPN league, you're going to need a plugin to use during the draft if you're drafting on your computer, but it will still update live with your draft. So you're not going to have to manually input anything. And then it's going to know your custom league settings and who's already taken and who's already in your team and give you the information you need to make your own best decisions with each pick. It really is going to optimize your decision making to the max right on your phone in a really easy to use way. So that's what the draft tool is going to do this season. We're launching, by the way, the updated draft tool in like 2 to 3 weeks. By August 1st, it's going to be in the App Store with league sync functionality. So very excited for that. And if you want to be at the forefront of knowing when that's going to happen, join our Discord. The link is in the first link in the link tree on TikTok, or it's in the YouTube description down below if you're watching live on YouTube. The Discord we just launched literally a few days ago. It's going to be the best place to get up all the updated information on WalterPicks. Looking good, Sam. Jake, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Love the positivity. Look, we started a little run on tight ends in this draft too. Again, if you're watching live on TikTok, you can see the draft board live over on YouTube. We're doing a 10-person best ball draft right now. First of the season in terms of follower drafts. It's been a lot of fun. I'm actually liking my team decent amount so far. And I do have a slightly different strategy in these drafts, these private drafts, than I would in a big tournament. Like in a big tournament, like the drafts I'm normally doing in Best Ball Mania 3, where I'm competing against hundreds of thousands of people in the puppy drafts that are $5. So I can draft on my phone while also using WalterPicks on my phone. You can, but actually the best experience, Alex, will be drafting on your computer and using WalterPicks on your phone. That'll be the best experience to doing the draft. But you definitely can swap between the two, especially if it's a Yahoo or Sleeper league. ESPN, that'll be a little bit more tough. You're going to want to draft on your computer if it's an ESPN league, or your laptop if it's an ESPN league. You also always can do the manual version, though, of the draft tool, too. So you don't need the league sync functionality for it to work. It will be a little bit nicer, though. Should I keep Burrow for a 4th rounder next year? No, that's too early for Joe Burrow. Sutton or Jerry Jeudy? Sutton's getting drafted before Jerry Jeudy in almost every draft I've been in so far. In this draft, Jeudy went 2 picks before. I personally think Sutton's safer than Jerry Jeudy. I think Courtland Sutton has a better chance to score a lot of touchdowns with Russell Wilson. But man, either of these guys could be top 12 wide receivers this season. Honestly, they both could be if the Broncos simply throw enough. So I'm in on both of them. You want to be in on Russell Wilson, guys. Russell Wilson has been in a horrible situation in terms of coaching and play calling. Really is the last 5 years especially, but really his whole career. He's been jammed into a run-first offense, yet has still been one of the most efficient touchdown throwers in the history of the NFL. He's gone 6 straight seasons with over a 6% touchdown rate, where the league average is like a little over 3%. He's been twice as efficient as the league average for 6 consecutive years. Like, this is not a mistake for Russell Wilson. And I think in an offense that's going to be tethered to more of his strengths in Denver, like Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy could both explode. I think Albert O could absolutely explode. I think Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, like all these guys have such high upside now that Russell Wilson is tethered to that offense. I was trying to get Irv Smith. Dang. Yeah, I want to be ahead of the Irv Smith curve this year too. Irv Smith checks so many boxes at the tight end position. He's sort of a better version to me of Cole Kmet. Like, he doesn't have the same path to volume as Cole Kmet does, because Cole Kmet's probably the number 2 receiver for the Bears, but they're both year 3 tight ends. And historically, year 3 is the year for tight ends to break out. The first 2 years as a tight end is very difficult. I'm willing to look past that for Kyle Pitts, because Kyle Pitts is arguably the best prospect tight end we've seen in our life. Like, he is the earliest picked tight end. He had one of the best receiving seasons, past 1,000 yards as a rookie tight end. That's like almost unheard of. So I think we see a big leap in year 2 for Kyle Pitts, but generally speaking, year 3 is the year for tight ends. And it's year 3 for Irv Smith in an offense that's supposedly going to throw much more. And Irv Smith is, by all accounts, back to full health. And that's going to be the biggest thing for Irv Smith. He's got to be able to stay healthy. But yeah, I like Cole Kmet for the same reason. He's heading into year 3. He has a pretty clear path to a lot of volume this season as well. And I do think Justin Fields is going to take a small leap as a quarterback this year. He has a horrible 3rd down conversion percentage through round 3. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Do you think Zach Wilson would be a decent QB2 in a Superflex league? Zach Wilson's been all over the news this weekend. I don't know if you guys saw that story, and it's unclear exactly what the original source of that story was or how real it is, but it's been picked up by literally every single major news source. So it's as good as true, I guess, at this point. But yeah, I think Zach Wilson has the talent around him to take a pretty big leap. I think he is definitely a high-risk pick, though. He was pretty atrocious last season. He was worse than Justin Fields last year, and he doesn't have the same rushing upside that Justin Fields has. But if you look at the surrounding talent, I mean, he has way, way better team to play with than Justin Fields. He has three pretty strong. I'm going to take a third quarterback. I'll talk about why in a second, actually. But he has three pretty strong receivers. Corey Davis is his number 3 receiver. Corey Davis was his number 1 receiver heading into last season. Elijah Moore, I think, was one of the most, if not the most talented year 1 receivers last season. Heading into year 2, the breakout year for wide receivers. And then Garrett Wilson, who is, I think, top 3 talented rookie wide receiver heading into this year as well. So, and then you add Breece Hall on top of that, one of the best receiving backs in the league already. And you have a pretty exciting supporting cast for Zach Wilson. But he's going to have to improve in terms of his accuracy as well. I'm going to snag Rachaad White as my 4th running back here. I just took a third quarterback. I usually wouldn't take 3 QBs this early in a draft. But my mindset in a private draft like this, there's only 10 people in this league. I just got to beat 9 other people in this league. I'm going to play it a little more safe. I'm going to draft 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends in this league. I wouldn't do that in a tournament, because in a tournament against hundreds of thousands of people like Best Ball Mania 3, where I'm competing for a $2 million prize, I'm shooting for maximum upside because I got to beat so many people. I need things really to roll the right way for me. And I want to construct my team in a way where I'm only drafting 2 QBs. I'm taking some risks. I'm maybe building more fragile rosters that have maximum upside. I want minimum fragility on a team with only 9 other people in the league. So that's why I'll draft 3 QBs. I'll probably take a 3rd tight end at some point in this draft too. Only 4 picks left in this draft. So I can draft on my phone while also using WalterPicks on my phone. You also can draft on your computer and while also using WalterPicks on your phone. I think that's the best case scenario for using the draft tool in the WalterPicks app. Again, the league sync functionality we're going to be rolling out, that's going to be rolling out in the next couple of weeks, where you're going to be able to sync our tools with your sleeper leagues, with your Yahoo leagues, with your ESPN leagues. And Sleeper is going to be the best platform to be playing on with our app, but all 3 platforms will work. And if you want to stay up to date on all information about that, join our Discord. We're going to the first people to know anything about what's going on at WalterPicks are going to be the people in our Discord. So join that. That's one of the top links in the link tree right now. Love seeing Sam's face in July. It is July. We are 2 months away from the season. Under 2 months now. I think under 60 days from the season. We're about a month away from preseason football. I'm getting excited, man. I think this is really the time. The serious fantasy managers that are going to try to win titles every single year, they're starting their draft preparation like either now or like in the next couple of weeks. Sam, you should consider also streaming on Twitch along with TikTok and YouTube. Yeah, Yarshma, I have considered it, but 3 places feels like a lot. I think 2 is more doable than 3. And I do have a goal this year of hitting 10,000 YouTube subscribers. We're like at, I think around 6,000 right now. So I really want to try to stay focused on YouTube. Once we pass 10,000 YouTube subscribers, then maybe we'll consider hopping over on Twitch. But there's really no discoverability on Twitch either. And it's I don't want to make it so tough. 3 different places that you could possibly be watching our lives. D-Hop for a 1st round pick in Dynasty. No, I would not do that. I don't think I would do that. I think DeAndre Hopkins will be a top 20 wide receiver once he returns from suspension, but he's pretty old, man. In Dynasty, you're maybe getting 1-2 more years out of DeAndre Hopkins at best. So I think that's a pretty high risk move, unless you're in a win now mode. Is Derek Carr a good QB2? Yeah, definitely. Derek Carr could be a top 12 quarterback in fantasy easily this year. It's all going to depend how much they throw. They've been pretty run heavy in the past. Josh McDaniels is there now as the offensive coordinator. I think that's going to, as the coach there. I think that's going to be huge for Derek Carr. I expect a big year out of him. And it definitely helps. It definitely helps to have the most talented receiver over the last 3 years, Devontae Adams, alongside him, who he did play with in college. I was one of the first 1,000 subscribers. Let's go. Yeah, Yarshman, you are a true OG for sure. Is there a website with all listed players for this year and their projected takes? Yeah, so if you go, actually, it's not a website. If you go to the WalterPicks app in the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store, look up WalterPicks, you'll be able to see everything right in there. Projected points per game, ceiling, floor outcomes for every single player in the draft tool. That's what I would recommend. Do you think Kirk will live up to his contract? Christian Kirk? No, he's not going to live up to his contract in real football, but in fantasy football, he's going to live up to his average draft position, I think, pretty easily. Right now, if you look where he got picked in this draft that we're doing live over on YouTube, again, you can see the draft board live on YouTube. Link is in the TikTok bio. Christian Kirk went in the last pick of the 9th round. He was the 90th player selected. I've seen him be picked outside the top 100 players, and he's going to get the volume to outproduce that this year. We'll go with KJ Osborne, start stacking with some of the quarterbacks that I've selected here. get the Viking stack. I got Irv Smith, KJ Osborne, Dalvin Cook, and Kirk Cousins all stacked together on this team. Absolutely love that. And we have 3 picks left. So I'll probably take 1 tight end, 1 receiver, and maybe 1 more running back. But the running backs get so bleak at this point, I might not take another running back. We'll see. Maybe with my last pick. Who would you take overall 11 dynasty startup? Yeah, it's tough to say who's going to be there 11th overall in a dynasty startup, but I will say think strongly about Kyle Pitts. Think strongly about Kyle Pitts in your dynasty startup because Kyle Pitts is going to have an absolute dominant stretch of tight end dominance in fantasy for like the next 10 years. So he is definitely one of my top dynasty targets. I'm targeting him in redraft too. Like I would much rather be 1 year early than 1 year late on Kyle Pitts. He's one of the best tight end prospects that we've ever seen. He was picked so early in the NFL draft, earlier than any other tight end. He then follows that up with a 1,000-yard season. He actually underperformed in terms of fantasy because he was getting picked so early last year, but he actually had one of the best tight end rookie seasons of all time. So I will gladly take Kyle Pitts in round 3, but yeah, in dynasty, like you really, I think, want to be ahead on Kyle Pitts. All right, I'm on the clock again. I do need a tight end, but I actually think I'm going to go receiver first. I'm going to reach a little bit here, but I'm going to go with Paris Campbell. Oh, I got auto pick Noah Fant. It's okay. I'll try to take Paris Campbell next time if he's there. Knowing everyone's listening to this live stream, he probably won't be. But now I've taken my 3 tight ends. Noah Fant is one of my favorite late round tight ends right now. I got him in the 16th round in this draft, and Noah Fant, again, he's one of these guys that the talent is clearly there. You don't need to worry about the talent for Noah Fant. You're definitely concerned about the offense. But he's already built a relationship with Drew Lock, and I expect Drew Lock to start significantly more games than Geno Smith this year. So far up to this point, the Seattle Seahawks have sort of said this is a QB battle. Geno Smith is apparently in the lead. But Pete Carroll also said before the draft that he thought Drew Lock would be the first quarterback drafted in this year's draft class, which obviously is a little ridiculous. But I think he believed that. And I think Drew Lock is pretty clearly better than Geno Smith, who really has been a bad NFL quarterback since he's been in the league. He might fit the rushing style a little bit better, like closer to what Russell Wilson was. But Drew Lock's better than Geno Smith. And after those 2 guys, I mean, there's no quarterbacks on the team. They definitely could still trade for QB. But Noah Fant has the connection with Drew Lock. He is going in the 16th round. And if you're just going off pure talent, he's also going into the fourth year in the league, which is great for tight ends. Like year 3, year 4 is what you want. He fits every category. He's going to be on a run-first team, though, obviously, with a bad QB. That's why he's going so late. But I'm still happy to take stabs on him at his current average draft position. Jarvis, MT, and Jameis. Yeah, you got to like that stack a lot. You got to like that stack. It's so easy to get Jarvis Landry. Even Chris Olave is going pretty late. But yeah, I've been trying to get Jameis Winston every single time when I'm drafting Michael Thomas. Because if you're going to be betting on Michael Thomas, like you already need Michael Thomas to pan out, right? If you're drafting him in the what round do you get him in? 8th round, which is pretty good. Then you might as well draft Jameis Winston too, because if Michael Thomas pans out, Jameis Winston's going to be a top 15 quarterback in fantasy. Like there's really no other path for Michael Thomas with the other weapons on that team. I mean, for Jameis Winston, if Michael Thomas pans out, and Michael Thomas, he posted a video running routes. I still just got to see him practice, man. I got to see Michael Thomas put in a full practice, just one full practice. We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice. Just one full practice, please, from Michael Thomas. Where do you see Jalen Hurts finishing in QB rankings at the end of the year? Ryan, we have Jalen Hurts projected, I think, as our 3rd QB in our rankings right now, which is definitely ahead of where he's getting drafted, which is around QB 6. But I think what he did last season, if you ignore injuries for a second, obviously injuries can derail anyone. But if you ignored injuries risk for Jalen Hurts, like last season's his floor for him, and he was QB 6 last season. And now he has A.J. Brown, a top 10 talented wide receiver in the league. Obviously, he's got to stay healthy too. He gets Devontae Smith in year 2. People still don't realize how talented Devontae Smith is. And Dallas Goedert is growing in that offense too. Like there's better weapons there for Jalen Hurts. And he could easily improve just as a passer in general, heading into like really his 2nd year as a starter in the league. So yeah, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be QB 6 to QB 2. I don't think he's going to be number 1 overall quarterback, though that's definitely possible. It's definitely possible with the offense that's around him now. I like Darrell Williams as a handcuff to James Conner. Yeah, I think I'm a little out on Darrell Williams because I actually like Benjamin more than Darrell Williams. And it could easily end up being, I won't be shocked if Darrell Williams, Benjamin sort of split the Chase Edmonds role this year, which is going to be bad, obviously, for fantasy purposes. And I think if James Conner got hurt, we would see a mix of Darrell Williams and Benjamin. But Benjamin is closer to Chase Edmonds than Darrell Williams is. Darrell Williams really has never been the most efficient guy. So I do like Benjamin as a talent a little bit more than Darrell Williams. Though Darrell Williams is the guy that did go out and get paid. Sam, bro, there are only 44 viewers right now. Can't wait for the 300 plus viewers in a few months. Yeah, I know, man. I love these streams because I can get to many more questions than I could in the peak of fantasy season. But I'm looking forward to it too, man. We got one more pick in this draft for me. I just took Paris Campbell, who I almost took with the pick before. By the way, if there's one guy that's going to be this year's Rashad Penny, it's Paris Campbell. This last year, Rashad Penny, nobody really even remembered who he was heading into the season because he had been injured for like 3 consecutive seasons. But Rashad Penny is one of these extremely, extremely athletic guys with insane size adjusted speed and extreme efficiency in college. He also has early draft capital, but he's been injured his whole career. And so people don't really even know. Like Paris Campbell's the same thing. Extremely, extremely athletic. One of the fastest receivers in the entire league. But he has been injured his whole career. But now he is projecting as the number 2 receiver for the Colts this year. All right, who am I going to take with this last pick? I'm actually going to go with Jerick McKinnon, who I've been warming up to a lot in the late rounds of these best ball drafts because he's a guy that can catch passes. He was the guy for the Chiefs down the stretch in the playoffs. And I do want to hedge against Clyde Edwards-Helaire a little bit, who I've been drafting a lot still. And that's my squad. We have I do like the roster construction I landed on here in this draft. 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, 5 running backs, 7 receivers. A very low risk, low reward type roster construction, which is fine. I only got to beat out 9 people in this draft. I think my quarterbacks have potential to be the number 1 quarterback scoring group in this league. I got 3 top 15 quarterbacks: Joe Burrow, Trey Lance, Kirk Cousins. I stacked Kirk Cousins with Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Swift, 2 guys that I projected as top 5 receiving backs this season. And I also got J.K. Dobbins really late, pick 70, about 12 picks after his average draft position. And then I got 2 late round flyers who also catch passes: Rachaad White and Jerick McKinnon. I'm looking forward to everyone saying Walter, not knowing you're Sam. Yeah, classic mistake. Classic mistake. My name is Sam. Walter is the AI algorithm that I helped build that powers the WalterPicks app. Travis E. Thoughts. Yeah, I love Travis Etienne. I didn't take him in this draft. I'm doing live over on YouTube right now. I took I think I took Mike Williams maybe instead. Who did I take over him? Yeah, Mike Williams. I took 1 pick ahead of Travis Etienne, which I don't think I would even do in a season-long league. I like Mike Williams a little bit more in best ball because I won't have to guess which spike weeks are going to come for Mike Williams, because they will come for Mike Williams this season if he stays healthy. But yeah, I like Etienne. We have him as the 6th best receiving back heading into the season. I think he could end the season as a top 3 receiving back. I think he could literally average 50 receiving yards a game, the best case scenario for Travis Etienne. And if he does that, he will be a top 12 running back in PPR leagues. So I like Travis Etienne a lot. And I also just think, like, generally speaking, half of like traditional season-long fantasy leagues that don't follow the NFL very closely, they don't even know who Travis Etienne is because he was hurt his entire rookie season. And so you're going to get an edge there if you know who Travis Etienne is, and half your league doesn't. Like, there's a good chance you're going to get him in the 5th round in a PPR league, and that's just going to be an absolute steal in fantasy. All right, this draft has concluded. Very fun 10-person draft. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this draft. I'll be live actually again later this week. I'll wrap up the live stream over on TikTok today, get to as many comments rapid fire as I can there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll be back live later this week. And again, join the Discord. Link is in the link tree to make sure you know when I'm going live, when we're doing